Once again, the YellowShy channel hits the airwaves with its podcast / Let's Play video. It's Pokemon Cawps. We're here in Lavridge Town, and we get right in to the misogyny in this one. So just a heads up, we're here once again as we convene to bring ourselves joy as we gather together, because that's what we must do in this life. And it's been a happy day so far. What is today? The 16th of February? Yes, I think I lose? I think I lose to Flannery. We fight Flannery. Spoiler alert. But no, today's the 16th. If you're living in America, your soul has been lifted ever so slightly from the depths that it sunk down into your stomach after the tragic news of yet another mass shooting. And if you want to, we try to promote activism here on the channel. And if you're wondering why, maybe there's a way. So, sorry, I'm very solemn to start. I said it was a happy day. What are you talking about? Well, justice slowly shows that it will maybe prevail. Your special counsel, Robert Mueller, the savior of America, indicted 13 Russian nationalists for interfering with the election. So, hey, democracy's alive and well, isn't it? For one day, anyways. That's why things are happy and groovy. And we hope to cherish all of the good things, because there's not much to go around. So let's cherish those here on the channel. What do we do in this episode? I don't remember. But I can tell you that I've actually recorded the entire game now, and I just have to do the narration. I won't spoil anything that I think that you haven't figured out already. And the reason why I started with the Robert Mueller thing is that the future can look bright, justice can prevail. Justice does prevail in this game too. We win. Believe it or not, we win. There was no way to lose. We're not playing an Nuzlocke. But just so you know, justice prevails. Misogyny does as well, however, in the sense I mean that misogyny is still very much lingering after the game moves on. And that's what we can fix as we move forward, as eventually this game will come to a stop. Our own societies and culture and values are ever evolving and changing, so let's be different than this game in that regard, shall we? And I'm not really... Are you gonna go all feminist on this episode? No, actually, because we got some other things to get to first, so we'll see. I was gonna wait because we do catch a Dratini at some point. I don't know if I was supposed to spoil that or not. I think it's at the end of, maybe in a couple videos. I get it off screen, so I catch a Dratini, and as promised, I said we would name a Pokemon Uma, after Uma Thurman, who is now in a bit of a battle with, I think she's just gotten officially now, Harvey Weinstein is suing her, and yeah. But anyways, as you know, very well know, it is to err is to be human, and to be YellowShy divine. But even YellowShy does err, as all divine beings do err. Because it is error to divine, and err, I say, to be defined as divine is to err divinely. If you catch my drift there. Well, yeah, don't ask. I don't know where that came from. Last video I started talking about the GSL, and I'm in the league, and I didn't even realize it's called the GPL. What's yours? Mine's 3.4. I'm joking. No, that's GPA, and it's not 3.4. It's higher than that. I'm kidding. I don't even know what my GPA is, to be honest. It's quite funny, actually, because I'm in education. And we talk about, like, our own department, our professors will talk about Is this professional information? Am I allowed to disclose this? I don't know. You can never be too sure your identity is secret online. Let's just say I'm not as mark-driven as we tend to think people are. What's your error, Shane? Aren't you trying to protect your identity? Why did you just call yourself by your own name? Why are you all over the place? Stay focused. We're already 5 minutes into the video. What happened? I haven't looked at the screen for a while. Did we beat Flannery? We must have beat Flannery. Yes. And then we got the vodka-flavored vodka going. Maybe that will help me stay focused. I'll take a sip of that. I called it the GPL. No, I called it the GSL, which it was called last year. And now it's called the GPL, and I don't know why. I don't know. I think it's the Generations Pokemon League. I think that's what it's called. So anyways, I wanted to make that correction for the one person that might have watched and caught the mistake. But that would mean they watched quite far into the video. The GPL, I think we're starting soon. As far as I know, our dictator, Joe Schmo, is... I think this weekend he said he was going to put like a video out or something. I'm not sure. Probably introducing all the teams, and I have maybe already spoiled it, but I won't say who I got drafted. All I will say is I was absent for the draft, so I was forced to pick a team afterwards, and I said, well, I'll just pick from the leftover Pokemon and all the tiers. And a couple people went, no, because then you're going to be able to see all our teams and then pick the leftover Pokemon based on and make a team that's even better, or that will be advantageous to the teams we picked. And I thought, you're severely overestimating my skill. Evidently, they've never seen any of my videos before. I can't remember who it was. Cubowac, I think, said that. You haven't seen it in my video because you'll understand that I can't even build a team in a normal Let's Play, let alone for competitive battling, which I've never done before. So I thought I needed a handicap. But I've randomly picked a team, and I don't really know what to make of it. And I don't want to reveal that because I don't want to... like I said, it's a very tight ship run by our dictator Joe Schmo, and I don't want to do anything that I'm not supposed to say. It means a lot to me to be in the GPL, so much so that I will call it by its former name, and I don't want to get kicked off. It's such a privilege and an honor to be part of such a elite league. Were you being serious? I don't know. You can judge for yourself. We're up here. We're going to end up in Flarber Town. It's kind of a boring episode, I think, so... hopefully that's not being reflected in my commentary. Of course not. You're being incredibly engaging as always, I'm sure, YellowShy. This is what I wanted to get to. If you ever, I think I've maybe mentioned this a long time ago, but I do like interesting, like funny, stupid, pointless news articles that I always find funny. I always love the one with animals in them. You know, where there's like wild pigs and things running loose. It's always fantastic. And there's never really a better place to go for fantastic news stories. This isn't an animal one. It's even better than an animal news story. But it comes from BBC. And the BBC, they're a giant news corporation in Britain, as you know. But they're also, maybe just because they're British, I'm not sure, they're prone to, well... having articles like this. This is from the BBC News from February 2nd. The Dorset Knob Throwing Festival, cancelled for 2018, could become a biannual event. Which is kind of an oxymoron there, right? It's cancelled, but it's going to become a biannual event. What's going on here? What's a knob throwing festival, you ask? Here we go. The competition to hurt the traditional local Dorset biscuits. The furthest distance has been running since 2008. That's what a knob is, in case you're wondering. It's now a biscuit. Knob maker Moore's Biscuits. Recently told... yeah, his name is Biscuits, too. Has recently told organizers... and see, this is where it goes wrong, because has nothing to do with the knob throwing contest. This is the root of all the problems. Organizers is spelled with an S and not a Z or Z to my friendly American peoples. And that's part of the problem there, because, you know, you need the Z in there any chance you can get. You know, when you're playing Scrabble or whatever, the Z's always the hardest one to get rid of, you know. You think I can spell zoo and ooze, but, you know, try getting it in there. Use it for organize. This is the root of the entire problem of the article, is that they've used an S because they're British. Knob maker Moore's Biscuits recently told organizers the event had, quote, run its course, but had since changed its mind, festival chairman Ian Gregory said. The firm said the event would come back bigger and better in 2019. The competition incorporates a food festival as well as games such as knob and spoon racing. And I don't know the historical figure. Is it Kearney Abbas or Cern Abbas? Kern Abbas or Cern Abbas? Pinning the knob on the Kern Abbas giant. Pinning the knob! More than 4,000 people attended the event in 2017 when it moved. What's the point of writing this in journalism? Is this such an important detail? When it moved from Catastock to Kingston Marward House near Dorchester. Such a relevant detail you've thrown into the article there. And I love that about English people too, right? It's not in Dorchester, it's near Dorchester. Because that's how, like, if you actually write envelopes or whatever, like send mail, because the British Postal Service is still a big thing. I know we don't use mail anymore. But you would actually write that, like, you know, we have like a formal address and postal codes or zip codes and whatnot. You would write on the address, for the house just outside Morward House near Dorchester. And like the fucking mail person would find it or whatever, Postman Pat. And we don't assume gender, so Postman Pat can be, or Postperson Pat. Postperson Pat can be a man or a woman. Near Dorchester, like they would find it. That you would write that on your envelope. The Kingston Morward House near Dorchester, and they would find it and they would know where it is. It's phenomenal. But I always loved Catastock. Like that, those are real names for towns in England. You're like, really? That can't be right. There's like Cockbuster. Like that can't really be the name of a town. Yeah, so they throw biscuits. In case you were wondering what knobs were. But anyways, if you ever have a funny article you want to send me, please do. You can share it to me through Twitter. Hey, I got a handle there at the bottom of the screen. You can send it to me there. I check my Twitter once a month. I'll check it right now, see if I have any activity. Oh, I do have one notification. What's that about? Okay. My technological skills, I don't like. Oh, a follower, how about that? Who is it? Some Pokemon person, anyways. I'll keep your identity safe. We're all about keeping identity safe here. We've been talking about identity lots in the show. So there you go. There's the Knob Throwing Festival over there in England. It was probably raining. In fact, I hadn't finished the article yet. It was raining last year. In the 2017 competition, this is a link to an article here. Pete Asher threw his biscuit the furthest in the rainy conditions with an effort of 22.7 meters. Right? He didn't throw at 22.7 meters. He gave it an effort of 22.7 meters. Maybe I'll read that in my BBC news person accent. In the 2017 competition, Pete Asher threw his biscuit the furthest in the rainy conditions with an effort of 22.7 meters. Because that'll be like what'll happen if you're in England. I've never been to England. I'm just assuming that these are the things that happen in England. Yeah. Not really what I'd never heard of the Dorset Knob Throwing Festival before, so, These things happen. This is what white people do for fun. Along with making it easy for mentally ill people to purchase assault rifles. But those are just certain kind of white people. No, don't make yourself better than most white people, Shane. You're still a white person. Yeah, it's Black History Month, and I've been meaning to get some shit together for Black History Month. But I was going to do something. Oh, here we go. For those that don't know me, I'm a curler. And it's Olympic time, and everyone knows about curling now during the Olympics. So this is where normally I don't tell people I curl, because, people are like, that's gay. Because that's the way men are. Especially in Canada. I know Canada seems like it cherishes curling, and it does. But there are still some, hockey pukes. By pukes, I mean pukes. Complete dick, asshole, athletic jock type people. Curling's just not physical enough, so I'm supposed to feel emasculated for not playing it and choosing a different winter sport or something. But I do curl, and this is the one time where it gets international exposure from the Olympics that people are like, whoa, and all kinds of celebrities, especially in America. But it's not. I thought this one hits a Canadian context a little bit more. I gotta find my. Hang on. This one comes from I think it's from the CBC. Yeah, olympics.cbc.ca. Kevin Cooey is our skip of the men's Canadian curling team. And this one is written by, Devin Haru. I hope I'm saying his name right. Haro, from CBC Sports. Fred Cooey is the father of Kevin Cooey, and Kevin, he's one of last, I'd say 5 or 6 years, probably our top curler. We have many good curlers, but he's representing us at the Olympics right now in Pyeongchang. And Fred Cooey's his father. Residential school experience shaped Canadian skip Kevin Cooey's father. Let's have a quick read at the first bit of this. What am I doing right now? I think I'm training Rose McGowan. We want Rose McGowan to evolve, and she is evolving quite in real life. I'm making my vague reference to the game, because I haven't at all been staring at the screen. I've been looking at my phone. They come from the Northwest Territories. And if you don't know anything about residential schools, because sometimes Canada, we like to brand ourselves as this place that's not like America, and we weren't as racist as America was, during contact and in our history. But we were. Right up until, the late 20th century, this residential school system took place, and it was funded. It was funded by our federal government and run by the Catholic Church in Canada. And they were called residential schools, and they took Indigenous children from their homes, from First Nations families, and made them. They basically tried to assimilate their culture and whitewash them. And there was very horrifying experiences that they had. They weren't allowed to speak their own languages. They were forced into Roman Catholicism in terms of religion. They were turned white, or attempted to turn white, and there was loss of culture. And the residual and generational effects still impact today. The last residential school was closed in the 90s, I think, 1990s. And there's been the trauma that has come from some of the experiences of many of the Indigenous peoples that were at the schools. They've turned to alcohol, and it's a really compounding generational problem that still exists today, even though there are no more residential schools open. But they would force the children away from their homes and force them to learn the ways of Christian religion and education, and essentially just learn to be white. And if you see any documentaries about it, the one image that always stands out is there's usually that, like, there'll be I'm out of time. There'll be a girl, you know, like, or a boy washing their hands, and they'll be like, what do you do? The other kid will go like, why do you keep washing your hands? Like, you've cleaned them. And they go, no, they're not white enough yet. And that's kind of the, you know, it kind of encapsulates the metaphor of what actually happened. And some of them were sexually harassed and assaulted while they were there as well. We're out of time, though. Oh no, I was going to read the article. Read it. It's by Devin Haru. If you're kind of in the curling you know, phase where you're like, this is kind of a cool sport, check it out. It's a kind of a neat little story. He doesn't go into too much details, but it's actually the first time he's made public that he actually was taken, I think for a year, it says, in a residential school. So it's part of a dark side of Canadian history that we try to hide by continually going to America and like, how bad is that place down there? We all have progress to make. And I certainly have progress to make in the next video of this game. Pokemon Cawps, is it? Thanks so much for watching. I wasn't watching, so I'm glad you did. And we'll see you next time. Bye.